South Africa just approved an HIV prevention injection that you take twice a year. It's called Lenacapavir, and it seems to be a game changer for HIV prevention. There were 2 big clinical trials that were conducted and that showed that in adolescent girls and in young women, the drug had 100% efficacy. Let's get into this. Why was this needed? We currently have the daily oral PrEP called Truvada. If you don't know what PrEP is or you don't remember, go watch this video. So with PrEP, however, this daily oral PrEP tablet that we have, it's in the name, you have to take it on a daily basis. So adherence was a bit hard, and it also meant that clinic visits, for instance, were quite frequent because you run out of the pill, then you have to go get more of it, right? And there's also still stigma that exists around the notion of taking pills on a daily basis. So generally, people just never started because of all of these things. Like, there's PrEP available, but just the admin around it and all that you have to do around it, you just actually found yourself never really starting to take it, right? So now the science worked, but overall implementation of this in real life was a bit shaky because there were some barriers that were making it difficult for people to actually get on the daily oral PrEP and actually take it consistently. Now you may be wondering, what is Lenacapavir and how does it work? So Lenacapavir is an injection. It's a long-acting antiretroviral capsid inhibitor that prevents the virus from entering your cells and replicating. So essentially what it does is it will prevent HIV-1 infection, particularly in adolescents or young or people that are at least 35 kilograms in weight. So when you do get started on Lenacapavir, what happens on the first day is they will give you the injection. So the injection is a subcutaneous injection, meaning that they just administer it right under the skin. It's not intramuscular. Right under the skin, it's like 1.5 milliliters in the syringe. So on the first day, you will get the injection and you're going to get 2 tablets of Lenacapavir. And then on the second day, you take 2 more tablets of Lenacapavir. And apparently from day 3, you're going to be protected from HIV. How amazing. That's intriguing. And it protects you for roughly 26 weeks, which is approximately 6 months. Hence, it's called a twice yearly injection because you're only going to need it twice a year. But the first time, that's when you combine it with the tablets. And then as time goes on, it's just the injection on its own. The way that you can think of it is you could think of it as this long-acting shield that will patrol your body for 6 months, obviously trying to detect and eliminate any HIV virus, right? So obviously you guys know better, you know this. It is a drug. Yes, it prevents HIV infection, but you would have to use it in combination with other safe sex practices like using condom because it won't protect you from other STIs. And at the same time, it also won't protect you from unwanted pregnancies. So you might want to combine it with birth control method that prevents pregnancies as well. For me, this doesn't look like it's hype because the results were supported by 2 really big randomized clinical trials and the efficacy rate seems to be really, really high. In terms of the game-changing trials that gave us the results that allowed South Africa to actually approve the use of this particular drug, it came from these 2 randomized clinical trials, Purpose 1 and Purpose 2 randomized clinical trials. And the main results from both of these trials was that in adolescent girls and in young women, there was 100% efficacy of this particular drug. So in all of those people, essentially, they did not see any HIV infection. It worked 100% of the time. And then in men who have sex with men, in trans and in gender diverse individuals, the efficacy rate was 96%, which in my books, that's still a really high efficacy rate, right? It still warrants, like, it makes you think and say, okay, yeah, sure, this is something that could potentially be rolled out to the general population. And in South Africa, for instance, we are the first African country to approve the use of Lenacapavir. This is following the US and some parts of Europe. I know Brazil as well has approved the use of this same drug. So yeah, it's exciting times for all of us that are going to be actually utilizing it. It was purchased from Gilead Sciences. So Gilead Sciences is like this really big pharmaceutical company that has been making major strides in HIV research and like HIV prevention science, right? So it was purchased from them at an undisclosed amount. Although I was able to find the amount online, it wasn't even that hard. So I don't know why they were trying to keep it a secret, unless maybe that was an incorrect figure, but I was able to find it online. And for generic pharmaceutical licensing, it'll only be available from like 2027. So you may be wondering, like, then where do you get it and how do you get it? So the whole plan is to roll it out from April 2026. So the rollout phase will be from April 2026 all the way to March 2028, and it will be rolled out to 60 health districts that we have here in South Africa. And the plan is to integrate it into existing HIV prevention programs. So you are going to have to check your local clinic, for instance, to find out if they do have it and if you do qualify for it and whatnot. There's also a thing that the VERTS consortium is doing where they're going to be deploying a mobile clinic to educational institutions, and they're also going to be deploying mobile clinics to community hotspots, you know, where people are likely to gather, to try and encourage more people to take this particular drug, and yeah, like just to let people know about it, and so on and so forth. So another thing, I guess, would be the side effects. And the commonly reported side effects, to me, they don't seem to be too extreme, right? I'm pretty sure, like, if you find, I'll actually attach the clinical trials here so that you can go read it for yourself and try to understand as much as you can. But the commonly reported side effects so far, it has been like injection site reactions, right? So a bit of redness around the injection site, lumps and nodules, and apparently these resolve by the next injection. So I'm guessing they would then be resolving. It will take them roughly at most 6 months for them to resolve and to clear up. They've reported headaches and nausea amongst the participants, and it's also apparently safe to use when you're pregnant. So yeah, hey, good times. These are very exciting times. In terms of benefits, I think you can all just obviously think in terms of adherence, right? If you don't have to remember to take something every day and you can just go twice a year, think of, especially for ladies, if you've been on Depo-Provera, the injection, it's something that you can take. I think the injection is also, the Depo-Provera injection is also 6 months. So there is improved adherence. Like, you can stick to the drug, provided that you stick to your appointments, obviously, and you don't miss any appointments. Adherence will be improved, and privacy as well. You know, people don't have to know. You don't have to be carrying around pills with you. Something that usually is a nuisance is when you are on that birth control pill, and then you'll be in the club, pumping it up, and next thing your alarm goes off, and you need to find a way to sneak around to just take the pill. Well, if you are kind of private about it. But for me, there's improved privacy whereby you just go in twice a year, you get your injection, you're out, you're protected. All of that is sorted. So to some extent, I guess, for the people that would be participating in this or would be considering taking this, there is that empowerment that comes with it, which I feel with the PrEP pill, it does help as well. But now that we have this other option, this could be a much better option for a lot of people. So yeah, I think this is a start to something new, something exciting. And you may be wondering, like, why does this matter? I think it matters particularly for South Africa because, as I've mentioned, South Africa will be the first African country on the continent to roll out Lenacapavir. That's the first thing. Number two, we do have a high burden of HIV infection. Currently, there's 8.45 million people that are living with HIV, right? Out of a population of 60 million people. So that's still a very high HIV burden, especially in the background of all these HIV prevention options that have come to light. It's quite a high number to still have in place. And I also think in terms of options, right? When I think about healthcare, I always think people having options is always a good thing, right? So now you have the oral daily PrEP pill, but you also are going to have this long-acting injectable that you can opt for. So if you prepare the tablet, you can still continue with the tablet or that tablet called Truvada, or you can actually just go and take your injection that you only have to take twice a year. So there are more prevention options. You have more options in deciding what works for you, what doesn't work for you. And also there's like that whole phenomena of a reduced pill burden. You don't have to worry about carrying pills with you, being out and having a good time, and now you have to take a pill, or just going on about your day, having to constantly remember to take this thing on a daily basis. There's that advantage to taking the injection, which you would only have to take twice a year. And I don't know, man, could this be a path to an HIV-free generation, especially for young women, because we are a disproportionately affected population when it comes to HIV. And I think as a viewer, some of the questions that I would like to leave you with for you to ponder on and to consider and share your views in the comments, right, would be, we have this HIV prevention option that does not require daily reminders, that you only have to take twice a year. Could this really be leading us to an HIV-free generation? That's the first one. And the second one being around options, right? You have the daily oral PrEP tablet that you have to take, and now you have this long-acting injectable that doesn't require a lot of your time. So which one are you likely to choose? Do you think you'd opt for the first option or the latter, which is currently new and seems to be a little bit more empowering, right? Another question would be, with this improved prevention options, do you think sexual behavior is about to change? Is it going to come with a change in sexual behavior amongst people? Are people going to engage in riskier sexual behavior now that they know that they have this particular option that can protect them? So what's going to happen with that? Should there be a change in sexual behavior? Should there be not? That's another option. My other question is around access, especially from a public health perspective. We're always considering, will access be equitable? When you think about the COVID vaccine and how tests were conducted in like low and middle income countries, and then they take the results, they take the drug back to the first world countries, and then now they sell it to us at like 3 times the price. Was that equitable access? So that is my other concern. Will access be equitable, especially when we consider our healthcare system? We do have a dual healthcare system where we have private, we have public, and yeah, sometimes we know our public healthcare system is not known for a lot of amazing things. So will everyone have access to this? Should everyone have access to this? Those are some of the questions I want to leave you with. Another important one for me is, sure, like, where do you get it? And if you do know where to get it, will there be a barrier to you accessing this or not? Should there be a barrier to you accessing this or not? Another really important point I'd like to leave you with for you to ponder, and please engage me on this and tell me what your thoughts are. But it's more around, currently there is a trial that has been approved that's going to be taking place at Groote Hospital here in Cape Town. So it's going to be run by the South African Medical Research Council and the Desmond Tutu HIV Foundation. So it's a trial on the HIV vaccine, and there are 20 participants that are enrolled for that particular trial, right? So are you likely to take the HIV vaccine as a prevention method, or are you likely to take this long-acting injectable as a prevention method? Which? And you must remember that these two things, they function differently. Typically with vaccines, you will find that a vaccine will contain a modified version of the virus, right? Or a modified version of the bacteria or the microorganism it's trying to protect you from. Whereas with a drug, it's a pharmaceutical drug, it will not contain that. So are you more likely to take the HIV vaccine, or are you more likely to take, well, when it does get rolled out, I'm saying when because I'm really hoping it does get rolled out and it works and it has a high efficacy rate, or are you more likely to take Lenacapavir, which is a long-acting injectable that you only need to take twice a year? If you are, why? Which one are you willing to take? Why? And or why not? These are some of the important questions that you need to ponder as a viewer, and I'd like to hear your thoughts on it. These are interesting times indeed. Like if you're excited, subscribe if you want to hear more HIV prevention updates, and share with somebody who might need this. Until the next video, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.